So that was the time I left my job also, and we started to work full time for Kids Castle, and there was huge energies being poured into it. We ensured that we keep on growing year over year. We added more and more centers. Chances of the market also, it went really fine, and now we are over here. Kids Castle has around 170 centers at this point of time. Of course, for many of us, the inclination is that once the first child comes to the family, should we be going back to our job or not? So we wanted to give our castle to the kids. We had 100, I'll still talk about it, feel proud of it. Last year we touched 10,000 kids. On a daily basis, 10,000 families knock at our door, they leave their kid to us. We have to attend to the child. It's a big responsibility. And when you look back and see, okay, we started with 1 admission, 2 admission, 100 admission. Now we have 10,000. But if the staff is not kind to the child who has been engaged with them, then we lose out the entire battle. There is a clientele for every preschool. Almost all the preschools were, yes, expanding, but they have to change their methods. But I would always wanted to be in a space where I am directly interacting with the clients, the parents who are there with us. Till date, I would go into a school, sit in the PTMs also, what exactly is happening, what parent is asking. I will just sit there and observe. It is very important to know a person that would you be able to manage the preschool or not. What is your intent, right? It's not a coffee shop which you are opening. Right, you put a fancy board outside, you give some quick schemes and people will buy one coffee, get one coffee free. It's not good. It's very important to give time to parents, because they are leaving their precious ones for the first time outside the comfort of their home and sending them to the school, and then they don't find a person responsible enough to respond to their queries. They trust this one. I would try to understand what is their motive behind getting into the preschool, because they are very fancy these days, right? You open a preschool, 50 kids will come, 100 admissions will happen, 150 admissions will happen. No, that's not the criteria. School has to be built up right from the scratch. You just cannot assume that you put a fancy board outside, do lots of marketing, and kids and the parents would come flocking to your center. No, it's not going to happen. It has to be built up from word of mouth. Tell me a place where you have left your child apart from school for 2 to 3 hours without your observation. At the age of 3, at the age of 4, absolutely no place. Have you left them into a movie theater to watch a movie? No. Have you left them into a restaurant to have food? No. You are leaving them into a preschool because you have a trust already. Preschools are providing CCTV access to the parents, which I find it very dangerous to happen.
What happened to your health during the COVID?
So I went to the doctors. The doctor said, no, this is carcinoma, which means cancer. So you have cancer in your tongue, and it needs to be operated. A portion of the tongue needs to be removed. There will be radiation, there will be chemotherapy. Everything he explained, and we were like, okay, what are you saying? How is it adding up? How can you say this, right? Morning only I did a 10K. Because of that ulcer, close to 38% of my tongue was removed. As long as surgery was there, I was okay. I could have managed things, right? But once the chemotherapy starts now, the life is hell completely. First chemotherapy, you will go, okay, let's see what is there. You will come outside as if you are dead. Usually prepare mostly for a half iron, right? People who are preparing for a full iron are very less, right? When you go for practice, you have to do 150 km cycling, 160 km cycling plus 5 km run or 10 km run. You don't tend to find the company.
Yes.
That is the biggest problem. But that's okay. You still do it. That is why keeping your head still while you are practicing for an Ironman, that is the most difficult phase which I can.
यहाँ पे जर्नी खत्म नहीं होती. You did English channel as well, right?
I did.
वो motivation कहाँ से आया? Why you want to do English channel? How exactly it started?
औकात से बाहर कर देता. When you go for an English channel, you have to do a qualification. You have to prepare yourself in cold waters. So water temperature of 13 degrees, 14 degrees, like that it has to be there. And you have to swim in the sea for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Sometimes they will say swim for 2 hours. Or you have swam for 2 hours, wait for half an hour, again swim for 1 hour. Like that, 1 week will go where you have to do the entire practice in cold waters, and you can just wear the swimwear. That's it. You cannot wear a wetsuit or anything. You have to understand that the chill is there, and it was bone chilling. Then on the D day, the swim starts. Right? So when the swim starts, Savan, it starts at night 2 o'clock. So a light, because there is no other light. There are no buoys to see. It's night 2 o'clock. You cannot sight anything in the sea. So she's swimming towards the light, and then finally they reach towards the boat. And that is the point the journey would start, pitch dark. Only the boat of the light of that boat you can see. It's pitch dark. You just have to keep following it, right? So by the 17th hour, we were touching the French coast, right?
Wow,
I tell you one very amazing thing which happened was that at the 13th hour, we were able to see the French shores, right?
Okay.
With that clarity that we can see a house, we can see a car moving, we can see that
still
there are people, we can see. But we are not able to reach to the shore.
Hi everyone, welcome to the another episode of The Voice of Visionaries. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Anuj Aneja. He is the managing director of Kids Castle. His journey is very inspiring. He is an endurance athlete. He did multiple Ironman event. So in today's episode, we will understand how he established a big franchisee or big brand of a Kids Castle, how he is running 150 plus Kids Castle preschools, how he turned his endurance athlete fitness journey into the extreme level, and how he is able to complete multiple Ironman races. So in today's episode, we're going to dig down into each and every segment of Anuj Aneja's life, and we will understand and learn and get inspired from his journey today. So welcome, Mr. Anuj.
Thank you, Saman. Thank you for having me over here.
Yes.
You have summed up everything of my life. Even I was not knowing that there is so much to tell about me. But thank you so much for summing
we will
it
dig down into each and everything today.
up. Sure, please. I'm here to answer to whatever you want to know about.
So Anuj, before we start about Kids Castle or your endurance journey, I just want to ask how you born and brought up, where your schooling happened, what's your, before Kids Castle, what's your journey?
See, I was born in Delhi, and my year of birth is 1982. And most of the schooling which I had was in Delhi only.
Yeah.
And I did my graduation in BCom Honours from Delhi University itself, from Shri Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce. And post that, I started to figure out what exactly I have to do. So I attempted CA a couple of times, did not happen. Then I enrolled myself to ICFI University, and I did a CFA Chartered Financial Analyst from there. Simultaneously, I also did MS Finance, also completed from the same ICFI University. Post that, I started and had some job in Delhi, and then I moved on somewhere in 2004 to Bangalore with Reuters, and there I worked for almost 10 years, 11 years. I worked over there. And later on, my wife Shweta, she started with the preschool, Kids Castle, and that was it. I think everything I've done in my life previously to it was only for Kids Castle. Then I just deep dived into it completely along with my wife by my side. And we set up this brand as Kids Castle, and since then I've been just engaged with Kids Castle only, and I'm sure that further on also I would be here only.
Wow, that's so great. So, Kids Castle started around 2012 or 13, right?
2012, we had our first branch in CV Raman Nagar, Kagdaspura. So during that time, I was working, and my wife started this first center which we had, and it was going on pretty fine. And we were thinking, okay, what to do? Should we expand our centers? Should we be content with what we have, maybe 2, 3, 4 more centers? Let's see what it happens. Then we added one more center, then one more center. And then one fine day I asked my wife, Shweta, I think if you want to expand more, we need more people. So she said, okay, you are there. Why don't you leave your job and you be with me, you be here and work it out. So that was the time I left my job also. And we started to work full time for Kids Castle, and there was huge energy is being poured into it. We ensure that we keep on growing year over year. We added more and more centers, and we started with the franchisee mode also. So we were learning as we were expanding. We were
Correct.
understanding the nuances of the market also. It went really fine, and now we are over here. Kids Castle has around 170 centers
Wow,
at this
that's
point
great.
of time. We have centers in NCR, Delhi, Gurgaon, now in Hyderabad also. Very recently we have started, and core operations are in Bangalore. Bangalore has been so wonderful for
Yes.
us
Yep,
that
yep.
there is such it's a good number of people over here who are keen to take preschool education right from beginning itself. So we worked out pretty much, and Bangalore remains the core of our operations.
But Anuj, when you started, right?
Mhm.
So what is the core, reasoning behind only preschool?
See, of course, my wife had a very keen interest in
Okay.
opening up a preschool, and she wanted to do this, right? And of course, for many of us, the inclination is that once the first child comes to the family, should we be going back to our job or not? So,
Yes, yes,
with
yes,
that
correct.
dilemma, my wife Shweta said, "No, I don't want to do this. My
Uh,
job. I want to, ensure that I am taking care of my child." And let me start with some business or something. So she started with many things. Initially she's very entrepreneuristic. She started with many things, right?
okay.
And I was just watching, okay, it's something, you're starting this business, that business. So she was very hands on to multiple businesses also. But then she stuck upon to this idea of opening up a preschool, and then from then she just stayed on to it. And my daughter was, I think, around 6 7 months when she started the
This
first
one, first
yes,
one.
the first one. It was six
Okay.
months around, and her reason definitely was to ensure that she's giving good time to the child, and it worked out pretty fine. And after, I think, 2 years or so, I also joined in.
Okay. So may I ask one thing that when first center you guys started, right?
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned in Siviramanagar.
Siviramanagar,
Yeah.
Kagdaspur area.
Okay. So what was that journey to find the center, find the location, the
Yeah,
dilemma of kids will come or not? This is
correct.
the first time we are opening. It's a new name in the market, right?
Yes,
What
yes.
others preschool will talk about it, or maybe other parents will think about it. And that first year,
Hmm.
how many kids were there in your first center?
So if I look at, we got the house, we were just searching out for some properties which are good, spacious, good play area is there, and we stumbled across this particular house, which we still have the
Okay.
same place. We still have our
Aye.
first preschool now. Also, after 12 years, also we are there only. So it happened by accident, I would say, that I went to see some other house, and that owner rejected us. No, I'm not going to give it for preschools. Okay, sir, no problem. But there is a school just 2 lanes away, or just
Hmm.
very nearby. You can try that if the owner agrees to it. So I took the number of the owner, and the owner, the moment he listened for a preschool, no, no, we are not going to give it for preschool. And then he just asked that, where do you work? I said, I work for Reuters. Acha, my son also worked for Reuters.
Wow.
Then he changed completely.
Okay.
Uncle changed completely, and he said, "Okay, fine. Why don't you come and we meet?" And there was some apprehension, of course. These days also people are apprehensive to give it for a commercial space. So same apprehension was there. But when I went to meet him, I took my Reuters ID card with me.
Confirm I'm working there.
I'm working there, and I did send out an official email from my ID also that, okay, I'm looking out for a house for a rent. And then things went on fine.
Hmm.
He was very very good, very noble person, and he allowed us to be there. So the idea, when we started to look at preschools, was completely that in Bangalore or nearby also, preschools are there, but they are not having big spaces,
Hmm.
right? Now this property was huge. It had good play area also. Multiple floors were also there. So we thought that, if we are starting, we would not start in such a way that we consider, okay, let's do what the others are also doing. But we
Okay.
never did that. And we took the best of the property available in the market, and we made it sure that the entire school is soft floored, right? The whole premises is being carpeted. Even the skirtings of the wall are being carpeted. The pillars are carpeted. So if a child falls down anywhere, they don't get hurt at all.
Correct.
So the mindset behind this was that, if you give an atmosphere to a child where the child consider himself to be safe, right, they would explore so much more, right? If the child is little apprehensive about the area, about the the planning of the whole house, they would be little hesitant to explore the surroundings. So this is the way we met. We made many modifications. Also, the entire furniture was child friendly, non toxic material. And during that time, some of this material was not even available locally, so we have to source it from various places also.
Okay.
But then yes, we did it. We kept on doing, and then yes, we started with the school at one fine day. The board was there,
Correct.
and then that is when we realized, okay, now we have started with our own brand also. So when you talked about the count at the first year, see, at this point of time, my wife was herself sitting at the desk to do the admissions, right? So she was that cook in the hotel who was owning the hotel also and cooking also, right?
Yes, correct.
So, and she, cooked the best recipe. She ensured that whosoever is coming up to Kids Castle for an inquiry, they see the best atmosphere.
Correct.
She gives a commitment which she can provide also. And then yes, in the very first year, we were able to hit a count of 100.
Okay.
And 100 is usually for a preschool is a very good count, because the premises are not that huge to hold 400, 500 kids like that. So very first year we did reach to 100, and I was watching, okay, she's possessed right now with this activity. Yeah. And yes, it went on. It went on really fine.
Okay. At that time, who are who is having the preschools? Some other names?
There were so many. So there was Hello Kids Preschool, which was just 2 houses away from our school. And during that time, Eurokids was there. Eurokids is still there. Hello Kids is still there.
Yes.
Little Millennium was also there.
Correct.
So the brands were there pretty much, but the industry was expanding. There were many brands which were coming up also, and the existing brands were expanding into formal school space also during that time. So Eurokids had Euro School also.
Yeah.
So that was the time when the industry was having a boom of preschools, and especially in Bangalore, there were a lot many IT crowd people who were coming up.
Shifted to Bangalore, yeah.
So they were the people who were looking out for a preschool for their child, and they were not very sure whether they should go for a formal school experience or they should go for a preschool. Since the stability is a concern always in Bangalore, the parents are not knowing that this year they're in Bangalore, next year they will be in US.
Correct.
Or they will go to some other city in India or somewhere overseas. So they were not taking admissions in a formal school setup, which has a higher commitment to be done.
Correct.
For a preschool, the commitment is lower. That is why Bangalore is a kind of a place during that time, even now also, where the business is good, the parents are looking good, the need is definitely there.
Correct. Okay. So and just one interesting question: how this name is decided?
So we wanted to give our castle to the kids.
Oh, wow,
right?
that's good.
that is what we still we say that we are opening our 160th castle for the kids, right? So that is, we wanted to set it up in like that, that a child should feel like he is a prince over here, a princess over here.
Correct.
Atmosphere is being provided to them in such a manner also. And we take personal pride to do that. So that this name came out of the intent that we will provide the best atmosphere to the kids, give them a castle.
Correct. Wow, wonderful. So we see the journey till now. You're born and brought up. You are doing your job. Then your wife Sweta, experience different options, and then fall to the preschool.
Correct.
And then you look for the properties, your job, company identity match, and then you guys figure out, this is the first center, and you started admission. First year is something that you close around 100 kids admission, and then you were in a position where at least 100 kids are there in the school, and now you have to think something beyond that. So your 0 to 1 journey is already done in a 1 year, I believe so.
Correct. So we had 100, I'll still talk about it, I feel proud of it. Last year we touched 10,000 kids.
10,000.
10,000.
Wow, this is a big number.
So when
10,000 kids.
yes, it's a big responsibility also.
Yes.
On a daily basis, 10,000 families knock at our door. They leave their kid to us. We have to attend to the child. It's a big responsibility. And when I look back and see, okay, we started with one admission, two admission, 100 admission. Now we have 10,000. This year we may cross 12,000 or whatever
Wow,
number.
this
number
is
it
really
comes up to.
good, really good. And even see, one thing what you mentioned is very, very important, that 10,000 families are there
Yeah.
who's knocking your door.
Correct.
Kids, this is a very sensitive business as well, because you have to take care of kid like anything else. It's very, very important. Each and since the kid is coming to your door and going back to home, that number of hours is very, very crucial, right? And from that, I want to understand, what about the staffing?
Yeah.
Right, the teachers, the nanny, or maybe center director. So from the first center, would you remember that, which kind of people you like to work with you in this journey?
Correct. See, this is very, very important to have a correct staffing at the school, and some people will come out with the thought that, okay, let me try how it works out, right? Maybe work for 2-3 months and then leave the organization and go to some other place. So in this context, what is very, very important is to have the staff, the female staff, basically the teachers, who are affectionate with the child.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Rest all you can train them, right? We have a training, we have a curriculum in place, we create curriculum internally and we give them training on a regular basis. But if the staff is not kind to the child who has been engaged with them, then we lose out the entire battle, right?
correct, yeah.
We can be very good in curriculum, we can be very good in accounts, we can be very good in setup and everything, but if we are not good with the kids, then we will
that
lose
experience is very, very important. Yes.
we will never grow. So we ensure that right from the first school, the first staff we have hired, coincidentally the first staff we have hired is still with us.
Wow.
Right. So
After 12, 13 years, right?
and she has also opened her own kids castle too.
Wow.
So we kind of ensure that every staff member who is being associated with us should get a good experience, should get continuous trainings. Every 2 weeks there are trainings teaching them how to deal with the kids, how to understand the curriculum, how to do the activities. Apart from that, we also started with the NTT course also, nursery teacher training course also. So whosoever teacher, even if the teacher is a fresh one, they want to understand more about teaching methods, they can join the course also. So the focus was entirely on the trainings and ensuring that the staff picks up the best practices rather than being isolated and do their things on their own.
Okay.
Since we were engaged directly with the staff right from the beginning, we were able to give them good enough training. We were observing them very, very closely, and that is the way I think the same behavior got replicated further on also.
Okay. So now 2012 to 2013, 1 year is down. So what about the next year? Now, still Shweta is the only one who is running the kids castle, or you joined?
Initially, when we had one center, then we opened 2 centers, then we opened 3 centers. We kept on adding more and more centers. Then we start building up our team of center heads, of our team of people who do quality checks, curriculum, everything. Initially, most of the things were being handled by me and Shweta only, but then we started to create teams.
Okay.
And that is something which we also know, that to grow, you cannot do anything, you cannot do everything at your own end. Your hands would get tied completely. So we started to add up more and more people with us. The people who were already working with us, they were getting promoted to a newer level. And then yes, after we had around 10th center we had, right? So we started to get many franchisees coming up with us. We kept on building team and processes, right?
Okay.
So at this point of time, Kids Castle directly has close to 900 employees.
Okay.
Since then, since the time when we have started, we have added up to 900 employees right now. Build up team, create process, keep observing them, keep checking on a daily basis, keep training them. That's a motto for us.
This is the right scaling framework, I would say.
Correct.
Building a team and keep adding the process, right? Okay. So now one thing is that, so roughly around 5 to 10. When you have multiple centers, right?
Hmm.
Afterwards, you started focusing on the franchisee model. Is it so?
Yes. We
Okay.
did enter into a franchisee model also, and coincidentally, most of the franchisees till date also are usually the ones who have been associated with Kids Castle in some form or another. Either
Oh,
they have been a parent at Kids Castle, they know our methods, they think okay they are doing so good, we would want to do the same thing also, we want to replicate it, or they have been the staff at Kids Castle.
wow.
Sometimes there are neighbors also. They will also come and say, okay, what are you doing? You just started and suddenly so many kids are coming. What is going on? And they started to ask us about
Ah,
it. And that is the time we thought, okay, yes, we are doing something which is attracting people, attracting franchisees with us. But we were very cautious that, whom we are offering the franchisee to. That is why we kind of remained in a model where we are having company owned, company operated center, which is basically a COCO center. Simultaneously we have the franchisee owned and franchisee operated
okay.
centers also. So we remained in the market, we ensured that we understand the market, we are not going into 100% franchisee mode, we have not done it till date also, we have our fears to do
Yes.
and go into a complete FOFO mode. But yes, that's about it. More and more people started to get associated with us through a franchisee. When the first franchisee came, I was looking here and there and thinking how to prepare a franchisee agreement. I don't know how to prepare a franchisee agreement, but I knew that how to run their school,
Correct. Correct.
and I think that was
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
But yes, all the legal formalities here and there will keep happening, and then it continued. That franchise is still with us. They are opening one more center right now. They are doing
Mm-hmm.
good business also.
So Anuj, here there are two things. One is that there are the two places I can see the trust is very required.
Yeah.
One is that you mentioned that the first staff you hired, he or she is
Still.
still with you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So again, until and unless you don't have a big amount of trust within the people, this will not happen. And the second thing that most of the franchisee is like someone who is either a parent or staff, or they see, right, ki, this is something they know you closely somewhere somehow, they understand what you guys are doing, and based on that they would like to also contribute or maybe join your further path, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
that's where trust is very important, right?
Yes.
And what happened to the other preschool during your next 2 to 3 years where you are expanding? Did you see the same scaling on other franchisee as well, another competitor as well?
Of course, the market is so dynamic. There is, business, or I would say, there is a clientele for every preschool. Almost all the preschools were, yes, expanding, but they have to change their methods because
Okay.
parents and the clientele was becoming even more smarter. They were knowing exactly what they need, the kind of infrastructure they require changed completely. Earlier, a preschool used to get open, say, okay, we can open for 5 lakh, 6 lakh rupees, also put some basic furniture, and kids will
Yes,
come
yes.
and they will spend some 3 4 hours and they will go away. Not any longer.
Hmm.
Even now, a preschool would take around 50 lakhs to set up
Yes,
also.
yes, yes,
Even
yes.
at times more than that. Earlier, the spaces were used to be a 4 BHK or a 5 BHK house.
Correct, yeah.
Nowadays, these sizes have become so huge, and people want a media room. People would want a projector, a playpen, a ball pool, and so many other things also. So, infrastructure has definitely gone up. And over here also, the schools, which, or any business for that matter, who was completely under a FOFO mode, 100% franchising, those are the people who struggled a lot because they were never able to understand the market, that the needs of the parents are changing. Many of the preschool brand did got failed. I would not take the name of those brands, and some of them have struggled also. They are struggling now also. It's just that they are so big that they are continuing so far, right?
Correct, 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 correct.
So the just like us, we were there in a COCO mode also. We were opening our centers also, and we were opening franchise centers also. We were knowing the needs of the parent much more closely. That the same setup is not going to work out any longer. You have to increase the methods. You have to increase the investment. That is where the Kids Castle won.
Correct.
And perhaps we are the only preschool who has been doing business in this manner where we have COCO and FOFO. Now, what
Okay.
happens, Savan, is that many of the preschools or any other business for that matter, they start with COCO definitely. After 2, 3 of their branches, what they do is that they sell off their owned center to a franchisee,
Yes, 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 correct. Yeah. Yeah.
and they become 100% franchisee center. So basically, they now become a person, a brand who's managing franchisees. But I would always want it to be in a space where I am directly interacting with the clients, the parents
Yes,
who are there
yes,
with us.
correct.
Till date, I would go into a school, sit in the PTMs also, what
Yeah.
exactly is happening, what parent is asking. I will just sit there and observe
Okay.
how my teachers are saying. If I have to add something, I will add also. I will stand at the gate also, look at the parent, listen to them, whatever their needs are. But when you get into a mode where you are 100% managing the franchises, you stop doing that. You stop meeting to the grassroots level.
Yes, correct, correct, correct.
Right.
But Anuj, how you maintain your the emotion and the, I would say the complete flow, right? What is there in Coco model versus into the FOFO model? Because I'll ask the one more,
Yeah,
add
yeah.
one more point here, because see, you guys are build up kid schedule from the scratch, right? Whereas I truly agree that the franchisee people, franchisee owners, right, they are also either your parent or maybe staff. They also have the emotion, but is it something the same emotion or attachment for this your Coco center would remain in the FOFO as well?
Of course, it has to be. First of all, they are our school parents, right? So our interaction would be on a daily basis
Yes,
almost, right?
yes.
And some of the staff members have taken up the franchises, so the interaction with them is on a daily basis. Of course, I, or for that matter, Shweta or the top management cannot go to all the school all the time, right? So we created teams.
Okay.
We ensure that we are meeting with the teams who are visiting the franchise centers, and we become very selective that you have to open a school at this property only. You have a property and you open up a preschool over there, does not works out. I am telling you that this property is good for the kids, for the children. You open here only. There is a
Okay.
difference. So we get into a mode where we are searching out a house for them. We are making it a preschool from a residential house to a preschool. We are also ensuring that initial 10-15 admissions would happen from our end. We will do marketing
Okay.
also on their behalf, and our teams would continuously go over there and keep interacting with them. My email ID would always be shared with everyone. If
Okay.
anyone has any kind of concern, they can reach to me directly and ask. 10,000 parents, whosoever is there, can definitely reach up to me and ask
That's
me if they have
great.
any
That's a great
questions
one.
and
Yeah.
concerns. I may feel that I'm getting delayed for a response, but I would do a response for sure. But yes, that connect is there. I have never tried to lose out on that connect. And I would go to franchise centers, visit them, see what their questions, concern, problems are also there. It is just not a business where I'm collecting royalties and forgetting about
Correct.
them.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Royalties will come, business will come only when they have kids at their center and the kids are happy. They are referring other parents to come. So all that nitty gritties has to be there. You have to really go down to the grassroots level and try and understand what problems are they are facing. Me being in this method of COCO centers, it is very easier for me to understand their problem even better.
Yes. Correct.
Had I been just away from them, away from the business, I would have never understood it.
Yeah.
Continued
Correct.
as a 100% franchise
See, ground
model.
reality always differ, right? So it's good to. The two thing I really learning from you is that one is that your mail ID share, anyone can reach out to you. That's a big thing. Everyone would not like to do even, but if you are doing, it's a great thing I would say. And second thing is that you yourself is visioning, and you mentioned that if some PTM is going on, you just sit down and just observe what is going on, what's the discussion there, what's the question parent is asking, right?
Correct.
So this is the real feedback mechanism that you get the reality check, right? So really good one.
I'll add one more thing also to it, right? So when we started our centers, right, on the Google page, when you used to go, you used to put my number directly. Okay, you put whatever inquiries will come, I will manage it, right? So the same number what I would have put 12 years back is still there. So if any inquiry is coming, I would spend time with them.
Wow.
If any parent wants to reach to the school, they can still call me and I will
Yeah.
listen to them. I will tell them, okay, I'm adding the center head to my call. You talk to her. or I would ensure that I pass on that so and so parent is looking out for such information.
Yeah.
Search my number on Google, you would find that 10, 12 centers. My number would be the first number to contact.
Wow, that's a good one actually. Yeah. And what is the criteria someone to become the franchisee owner with you?
Yes, so important, and we are very picky and very choosy about it. Otherwise, we would liquidate the
Yes.
entire quality. And of course, as I've told that we know them closely, how their association with Kids Castle has been. But it is very very important to know a person that would you be able to manage the preschool or not. What is your intent, right? It's not a coffee shop which you are opening.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
You put a fancy board outside, you give some quick schemes, and people will buy one coffee, get one coffee free.
It's a real emotion has to be attached on this one because the business is like that.
Business is like you have to be with the kids. That's very very important. So it's very important that how emotionally connected can they be with the center. That's very very important for us to know. So many franchises we have rejected just like that. One very basic question I ask with my franchises always is that who is going to sit at the front desk? You tell me. Are you going to sit at the front desk? Fine. I can understand. Then I'll talk to you, right? Are you going to make somebody else sit at the front desk?
Then I'll talk to him.
Then I will have to understand.
Yes,
Right?
yes, yes,
So
yes.
I would want people, who can give good amount of time to a preschool. It's very, very important to give time to parents because, they are leaving their precious ones for the first time outside the comfort of their home and sending them to the school. And then they don't find a person responsible enough to respond to their queries. Their trust is gone.
Yes, correct.
One dissatisfied parent will take away 10 admissions from me.
Yes.
One satisfied parent will give me 2 admissions.
Correct.
So satisfaction has to be there. I would personally review the franchisee. I would try to understand what is their motive behind getting into the preschool because they are very fancy these days, right?
Yeah.
You open a preschool, 50 kids will come, 100 admissions will happen, 150 admissions will happen. No, that's not the criteria. School has to be built up right from the scratch. You just cannot assume that you put a fancy board outside, do lots of marketing, and kids and the parents would come flocking to your center. No, it's not going to happen. It has to be built up from word of mouth.
You are actually absolutely right. I'm just recalling my experience. I'm also having a younger one, right? So when first day I went with my kid to this preschool, right? So always there is a fear in mind, the fatigue, right? That first time you mentioned, right? Ki first time the precious one is going away, right? And it is just matter of 2-3 hours, but that 2-3 hours nothing will come in your mind. You keep on thinking what he was doing right now. He's comfortable, he's okay. Those questions will keep on going on, right?
If I were to ask you, tell me a place where you have left your child apart from school for 2 to 3 hours without your observation. At the age of 3, at the age of 4.
No.
Absolutely no place.
Not possible.
Have you left them into a movie theater to watch a movie?
No.
Have you left them into a restaurant to have food? No.
No.
You are leaving them into a preschool because you have a trust already.
And with the trust, I would like to say, so why this parent, you mentioned about the satisfaction, right? Why that matters. So for me, what happened to me, we just, walked in there to preschool. There are 2 madam teacher was there. They give a really good sympathy to us. They both the madam know what exactly we were thinking about the kid, about the situation.
Correct.
So she gave a very genuine, good response, very good sympathy, saying, calm down, don't worry, nothing will happen to your kid.
Yes.
He would be absolutely fine. You just stay here. If anything will go, if he'll start crying or something, we'll just immediately call you. You be happy that first time you're... So this kind of words make us very comfortable.
Correct,
It gives some relief. Yes. Right? And that day I just told my wife, Ki, this is something really matters. Someone is required to tell the same thing.
Yes.
Because, right, you mentioned about the front desk, right? Similarly, first time when your kid is going, the right people is required to interact with his parent.
Correct.
Otherwise, this thing will not work out. Absolutely. So, yep.
Initially, when the child for the first time is coming down to your preschool, if it is a 50% effort on the child, 50% effort is on the parent also.
Yes, correct.
Because
Actually.
they know, I'm leaving my child over here, what will happen, right? And they are very anxious,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
there's nothing wrong into it. They are the most anxious people, and you have to understand that, okay, we are there, we are managing it
Correct,
out.
correct, correct, correct.
So what happens, Savan, is that you cannot have a child at your school, right, at the day one for 3 hours or 4 hours.
Hmm.
If you try to do that, it will create some amount of trauma in the mind of the child, where my parents have gone.
Yes.
For
yes,
them,
correct.
1 minute being away from the parent is also very difficult.
Correct.
And 1 hour is also very difficult, right? So at Kids Castle, we always follow a staggered approach. So day one, we will have the child only for 15-20 minutes and do some playtime activities. Next day, we will increase it to say 45 minutes.
Yes. Hmm.
Third day, we will increase to 1 hour. And then during that time, we will try to understand whether the child is happy
Correct.
or not.
Correct.
And after maybe a week or 10 days or so, once we understand now the child is fine, that is the time we will have the child for the full time at the school. Otherwise, you just keep trying. Parents are okay, child is okay. What was the parent saying? Was he or she okay or not? Did you attend it or did you respond to the WhatsApp message or not?
Yes.
They all kind of tensions happen, and this is only because for the first time the parent is leaving their child in the comfort of somebody else. It's very, very difficult for them to understand it.
Can now imagine or thinking कि for you guys, you and Shweta, to you also, this is a very good learning journey, right? Because for you also, you never know कि how are going to take care of 100 kids, how their parent will behave,
Yeah.
how the staff whom I am trusting, right? How exactly they will behave, because you are the only two people, but there is a people below you, right? Who will take care of others, right? So everything has to be going in a very good direction, right?
Correct.
So for you also, it would be first and new learning throughout
Of
this
course,
journey. Yeah.
of course. See, I have learned from my wife,
Yes.
right? And she has, either I would have looked at her and I would have understood that this is the best method to do, right? When we started, I could not be in a very comfort zone and say, okay, I will manage accounts, I will manage the logistics, right? Those things will happen, right?
Yeah.
Those things are part and parcel. They can be passed on to some employee, but engaging with the parent is the first responsibility.
Correct. And critical as well.
Critical as well, okay. Back end will keep happening. Even if I fail in account somewhere, it is okay, no problem. But I should not fail in answering to a parent. So I just stood next to her and tried to understand, learned as much as possible, understood what is kindergarten, what is Montessori, how to manage the young ones, how to make a timetable. All those things, I was hands-on to it. After some time, I was looking at it and understanding it also from her vision, from her eyes. And it went on fine. Till date, if a curriculum has to go, my wife will go through it. Every month she will go through it. What newsletter is going, what curriculum. She will sit with the curriculum team and she will
Wow, that's
decide
good. Yeah.
that last month we did so, this month we are going to do this particular activity. Simultaneously, I would also put a hands into it and try to see how curriculum is going, whether in the school it is being followed properly or not. Smallest of things are also very, very important, that as per your curriculum, the board, the display board at the school, has it been decorated or not? It's a very small thing to be done, but it has to be done.
Correct.
And if I'm going for my visit, I will check that, right? My first thing to check is that how safe is the atmosphere at the school, and then
The softener part of you mentioned, right?
Everything. Smallest of things are being checked out. There is a team which is being called as a quality check team.
Okay.
They are independent. They are not working under anyone except Shweta and us. So they will go to each and every center. They will
For
check
audit
out
purpose.
auditing. They will do surprise visits, keep checking, take small questions from the kids also, understand the infrastructure, whether it is proper or not, provide a report, and then there will be another team who would work on it.
Okay.
Then there would be a team who would constantly have access to the CCTVs across all the locations at the back end in the head office.
Okay.
So these guys would be just looking at multiple screens throughout the day and keep checking what is happening in each and every school. Smallest of thing also.
On average, how many cameras would be there?
So
CCTV
16 cameras.
in one preschool.
16
16
cameras
okay.
would be there. There will be close to 5 to 6 guys who would be keep constantly checking out, but they can go back and see also.
Correct.
And
This is very important as well. Yeah.
see, many of the preschools are providing CCTV access to the parents. I find it very dangerous to happen because that takes away the fun of teaching also.
Correct.
And sometimes we become so insensitive also, Savan, that we don't consider privacy of kids as a privacy matter.
To this point, okay. So we were also exploring the couple of preschool for our kid, right? And couple of school do have that facility that will give you the application in your mobile. You just turn on. At any point of time, you can see what is happening with your kid and all, right?
Yep.
And couple of preschool are there where we don't have that camera CCTV thing, okay? But we decided that one only, ki let it be.
Let it be.
Couple of things, seriously, we should let it be.
Yeah.
And you won't believe, I know a couple of mothers, literally for the 2-3 hours, every 5 minutes they are checking. Yeah, it's very difficult.
that Savan takes away the fun of teaching completely. Right?
Correct.
The teacher would always be under an impression somebody is watching me.
Yes, correct.
Right?
Yeah, correct.
And it's a matter of privacy for the kids also. And when you are putting the videos of small children in a public domain, you don't know who's watching at it, right?
Yes.
And you don't know if somebody is leaking the videos, if somebody is hacking into your systems, right?
At any point of time.
At any point of time, it can happen. So we lose out business because of it, because parents really want a CCTV access. But we, as a policy matter, we have said that if you want to see what issue is there, if you want to understand what your child is doing, you can come and you can sit and we can show you the CCTV camera.
Correct. At any point of time, you just say this time some issue happened. You can open the CCTV camera,
You can check, but we cannot give you an access to it.
Anuj, this is very good, very, I would say, difficult decision, I would say, but still really good to have.
Correct.
Because that matters a lot.
Yeah.
And especially, you were saying, I'm just imagining at this point of time, completely like all the center, all the CCTV camera, all the kids' video are accessible to everyone.
Yes.
So imagine you were saying about like 10,000 kids are there. So 10,000 family have access over 10,000 kids.
Of course, they will have access to their classrooms.
वो limit हो सकता है, correct? Yeah. But still.
But then you have kept your system outside to be hacked by someone. You don't know, somebody is looking into your privacy. We don't know about our privacy at this point of time. Right? And then you're putting up videos of your children. And
it will be difficult.
Smallest of things also, it can become a big matter. I know about a place where the teacher was using a phone while in the classroom. It became a big fuss. Not at Kids Castle, some other place. It became a big fuss. But the teacher was recording videos of the children. She was not looking at Instagram. But it turned out to be a very bad episode for the school, that the teachers are looking at the mobile phone, how they are managing the kids. But the teacher was taking videos of the... but who would make them understand? By the time the news is...
And such kind of news go viral within the seconds. Yeah, correct. Any particular challenge you remember during those first 2-3 years when you were expanding a couple of centers? What is the key thing that you thought of? This is something I never thought of, never planned. I don't know what to do now.
Of course, see, Savan, whenever you set up a new business, right, challenges is like a daily task. Right?
Yes.
You cannot think that something new is going to come up. Every day something or other will keep coming up now and then. Be it concerns from the parents, how to manage it, because we are also understanding the process for the first time, right? So challenges were plenty. So I'll tell you one very unique challenge which came up, and you would laugh at it also. So we opened our preschool next to another preschool.
Okay.
And we were doing it without any thought, that we have better quality, better facilities, better services, whatever is there, we will be able to have a healthy competition, right? And we had the D-Day to start the school. Boards are being set up and we will start the school, and the items are just about to come. The furniture is going to come, the play items, materials are going to come. Now this next door school called to the vendor of ours and told that do not deliver to them.
Oh my God. Seriously.
We have our inauguration planned.
Oh my God.
We have the board without anything inside, and we are looking. We have taken some admissions also, and we don't have a furniture inside. What do we do about it? And where do we find a new vendor right now? And we kept on calling the vendor. Vendor is saying, no, we are not coming. We are not coming. This is your advance amount which you gave. Take it back. And we were like, okay, now what? That was a very big challenge for us, and
Surprise or shock.
such kind of things also do
Yeah,
happen.
correct.
But it did happen, and that is the time when we realized that I have to scale up. I have to get listened, to compete in this market. Cutthroat competition is there. We really need to scale up. And yes, of course, we overcame that challenge, and we ensured that
Next time it will not happen. Yeah.
does not happen, and inauguration is happening properly, and everything goes on fine. But challenges for a new business is a daily routine. Even these days also we keep on facing challenges. Challenges can come from any side, from the existing staff, old staff, neighbors, noise issues. So many things can keep coming up now and there. But yes, this was one challenge which I was literally understanding. Okay,
Lifelong memory.
lifelong. If I have to avoid any kind of issues further on, I need to scale up for sure.
All the franchisee owner, right? So they started somewhere around 2013 or 14 around time, right? After
Around,
1 or 2 years, you started on the FOFO model, right?
2015, 16 years.
15, 16, right? So till now, all the center are working as it is, or they also expanding, and now they.
Yes. We have franchises. We have opened after one another 2 school, 3 schools like that. So
Okay.
one person has opened multiple
Franchises.
schools, multiple franchises with us, because they are getting good
Returns,
responses,
yeah.
and the clientele is good. They understand the methods better. Curriculum is good. So their chances of being associated with us are more. And they have been opening one after another also. I don't remember any instance where any franchisee, except the time when the COVID instance has happened.
Yes, correct.
Some closures had happened during that time, but apart from that, there have been no
And
closures.
by the time we reached to the COVID time around 2020, right? How many centers were there with
We
the
had
kids?
50. We had 50.
50.
Yes.
And how many COCO and how many FOFO?
So during that time, we had around 20 schools in COCO and 30 in
20,
franchise.
30 kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And then COVID hits, right? So what was that journey, Anuj?
So COVID was very difficult time for, I think, all the business, right? Even people who were in their jobs also, they were finding it difficult to manage with the the havoc which the COVID
Correct.
has
Yes.
created. So till it happened, nobody was knowing what will happen, isn't it? So it just came and dropped as a bomb on everybody's head. And one fine day we realized that the schools are going to get closed. And I think somewhere in March
Yes.
2020, the lockdown
Correct.
happened. And March, April, May, June are typically the months of admissions.
Correct.
Right.
New admissions.
The previous session is winding off, and it got wind off also. And new session is going to start, and you need to have admissions in your hand, right? But yes, parents are confused, and so are we, that what to do, and how to get admissions. And I think during that time we might be having around 3,500 or somewhere around that number of kids, maybe 3,000 or so. And then there is no one who's interested to take admission for the next session. And during that time, this online started, right? Online schooling.
Yeah.
But it's a preschool. Nobody's interested to take a online
as well,
class.
yeah.
Right?
Correct.
That method itself is not there at all.
Yeah. Correct.
Right.
It was more like college or school people only may use kind of, yeah. But for preschool, no one thought of online schooling even possible during the COVID time. So it was a complete dip, right, in the business.
So what I'll tell you what all dipped out completely during that time. We had a couple of centers in Delhi also. So Delhi, what happens is that the deposit is of 2 months of rental amount, right? And the moment that deposit got exhausted after 2 months, the COVID situation was just expanding and expanding. They just threw out our stuff outside, and they said,
"You have to close.
You're
it
no
up now."
longer a tenant.
Yep.
You cannot do anything about it. Me sitting here, of course, we have a team in Delhi also, but nobody can do anything about it, right?
Yes.
So the centers in Delhi all got closed, except the ones which we were managing directly. We were still paying for them. The franchise out centers got closed out completely in Delhi. Since the schools were closed during that time, almost every school got robbed. The burglars coming inside, they were breaking the doors, taking whatever is inside.
Yeah.
But because we cannot go over there, after some months we are seeing taps are also being stolen, right? We cannot do because we are not staying there, right? And those are tough time. People were resorting to whatever methods they can. So all the schools were not. Then we were constantly asking the parents that why don't you book for the next admission? They are saying for what fun we should do that, right? There is no reason. When the school
Absolutely,
opens,
yeah.
when the government says we will do that, all right, they have their own pressures. So the property owners were of course asking for the rents, because they have their own
Correct.
commitments to do. So we were observing it for quite some time, and we were knowing that this is not going correct, and how long it's going to get closed, we don't know about it. But somehow we did launch online classes, which
Okay.
some parents were happy to take it. So maybe we had 3,000 parents, we came out to 600 online.
That for LKG, UKG only,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Or whosoever is interested to take, because they also wanted the child to be engaged
Engaged
into
somewhere, yeah.
certain thing, and they were also positive that after some time the schools might open, but it was not happening at all. So that admission dipped, and online the fees were very, very low, very, very different. So we negotiated with the property owners. We had to, write off a lot of staff also, because we cannot manage them any further on, and they also understood.
By that time, what was the staff?
It will be very difficult to recall at this point
Correct.
of time.
Yeah.
Maybe 150, 180 staff members would be
Okay.
there. But many of the people had left to their natives also, and some of the staff, we said that, okay, 2-3 months we paid the salaries, after that we cannot pay it.
Correct,
And they
correct,
also
correct.
understood
Yeah.
that the situation is tough. So we resorted into a method where we were just trying to ensure that we survive during
That's
this
the
time.
online model.
That's the online model we continued for, it went on for almost one academic session.
Yes, correct. 22
And,
to 21. Yeah.
Yes, that was very, very difficult. But we ensured that, neither us, neither our franchisees, their center gets closed. You run in losses, you reduce your expenses, we do online classes of our franchisees, we'll do everything. You get whatever fees you can collect, right? And be in the survival mode. So in Bangalore, we did survive. None of the schools in Bangalore got closed because of that, neither our franchisees also. We
Okay.
ensured that they are also having classes, online classes run by us, and they are also getting some amount of fees, and that is the way we continued in the COVID time.
Okay. What was the the discussions with the franchisee owner during that COVID time?
So we all were having the same discussions only, right? Everybody wanted to know that what to do next, and
Correct.
COVID is a situation which has happened for the first time with us, right?
Yes.
Nobody was knowing. So of course we have to tell them, yes, you ask your parents to come online, give me connect of your parent, I will talk to them. My
Okay.
team will talk to them, convince them to come to an online mode of teaching, and that is the way we ensure that the franchises also have some amount of admissions with us. We went on to negotiations. We told them that you negotiate with your property owners, get your rent reduced, trim your staff, and be in a survival mode. And that is the way we have. Whatever I was doing in my COCO model, same thing I
Same thing
told
in
them
our
to do in the
FOFO model.
FOFO
Yes,
model.
yes.
That's the beauty of Kids Castle, that since we operate in a mode where we understand the pain of our franchisee, we are able to help them the way we are helping ourselves.
This is one of the finest leadership quality I'm getting from you as a lesson. Awesome. So this will continue till 21 mid, right?
Yes.
Schools
yes.
were till not open in a 21.
Even the schools got opened, parents were not having any faith.
Yep.
They were not having any faith that it will happen after 2 months again, we will get closed down. But yes, business was picking up, and we were knowing how to manage the situation. Some parents were coming up and saying, yes, we will do online, because parents were also assuming that 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, somewhere the situation will diffuse, but it was not diffusing at all.
Correct.
So they also
Even
resorted
after
to-
1 year.
Even after 1 year.
Yes, because then phase 2 came and all, right?
Phase 2, phase 3, so many phases were there.
How you regained the trust of the parents for the admission next year?
So we were in constant touch with the parents all the time. We were sending them worksheets, we were sending them some material to work on with their child constantly, keeping them updated, do this activity, do that activity, in this month try to do this. So that connect was always there. We
Yeah.
never broke the connect with the parent. Okay, since we are not working, we don't know you. It's not like that. Even though you have not paid for the next year you take this curriculum, you do these books, You buy kits from us, you buy books from us, and do these lesson
Correct.
plans. That is the way we remained in connect with the parent. We did not lost the connect. Now after 1 year also, the parents, of course, they want the best for their child, right? They were realizing that the kids are just hooked onto screens
Hmm.
all day, right? Now,
That
what kind
was
of screen it has to be? Does it needs to be an animation movie or something like that, Peppa Pig or whatever, or would it be a teacher coming from Kids Castle and talking to the kids, right? The
correct.
screen is there, but what content is being played is what the parent decided wisely,
Hmm.
that the content should be from Kids Castle. Let them look at the screen.
But valuable content.
And you won't believe, someone once, the kids came out of the COVID era and they were to the school. Some of the kids, they directly come down to UKG and they had never had any exposure of nursery and LKG. And they were constantly looking at the screens and animations and cartoons. They were behaving like cartoons. And it was so sad to see,
Exactly, huh?
so disheartening to see that they were behaving like cartoons, because that is the world they have seen. They will behave like that.
Correct.
So that was a very tough time for everyone, for kids, for parents, for us.
Even I can imagine the revamping time would be difficult for even for the teachers, even for you guys, because one is that you have to gain the trust again, because without the faith, parent will not come again easily, right? Then second thing, what you mentioned about, even I've seen that kids were always, they need a mobile or tablet or something,
Yeah.
always talk about the cartoon, because all the time they did that only, right?
Yep.
Because kids were not going outside in a play area and anywhere, right? So they were behaving like that. And now for teachers also, it's difficult to get them a normal, expose the outside world, right? Go for the ABCD startings, right? It's a difficulty. Yeah, correct. And one more thing I want to discuss, the COVID time. We understand the COCO and FOFO models, how the deep was there, what was the breakdowns, what was the revamping or restart journey. This part we discuss. But one more very important thing, what happened to your health during the COVID time? This is something I want to discuss, and for many people it would be really
That was
inspiring.
tough time for all of us, and I don't know from where and what happened to me. I was fit pretty much, and somewhere in September, even if we want to go previous to that also, uh, pre-COVID times, I had some dental procedure being
Okay.
done, and one tooth was being extracted, and it has to be settled up for some 3-4 months period of time, and then I can go back and put that artificial tooth over there. So that particular portion was open, right? And at that place, my tongue used to rest, right?
Okay.
And it was getting micro abrasions over there because of some reason. The tooth got extracted, and after some time, the COVID happened. All the dentist, ENT, everyone has
Correct.
got closed,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
yes.
we were told that stay away from hospitals, don't look at hospital. COVID is going to happen, and everybody was scared with that. And somehow at that point, at that place at my tongue, ulcer started to develop, and which I thought, okay, maybe something is there. Maybe I'll take this medicine, that medicine, it will be fine. But it was not going away. That was the problem. 1 month passed, 2 months passed, and it was not going away.
Around September, right?
This is somewhere when I finished out in February one triathlon, which is a DIT, Delhi International Triathlon. I finished that, and I was immediately after that, March, the lockdown had happened. And during that time only, I was noticing this ulcer is being developed.
Yeah.
So then after, I think some point of time the hospitals were open, so it became a little alarming for me.
Correct.
So I went to a hospital, and the doctor said that, okay, it doesn't look like anything malignant for you. Why don't you just go for a removal of it? It is not getting treated by the drugs. We will remove it. We will do a biopsy. That's it, Anuj. No worries.
Okay.
No tension. I said, okay, ma'am, no worries. We will do that. And then I went to a surgery. A small portion of tongue was removed. That ulcer was removed. I came back home. Everything was fine. And I think somewhere first week of September only, the biopsy report said that something is written as carcinoma. And I was looking at it. I didn't even know what carcinoma means. Okay, I told to my wife, "So the something is there. Usually the reports are not descriptive like this." That was a teachers' day, and we were going for a small meet with the teachers also. And then I said, "Okay, no, something is there which is not adding up right now. Let us go to the hospital, right?" And then immediately during that time, ChatGPT was not there, no, to take a
Correct.
picture.
Yes, yes, and then ask you what is this? Explain me. Like everyone will become doctor itself. Yeah.
So I went to the doctors. The doctor said, "No, this is carcinoma, which means cancer. So you have cancer in your tongue, and it needs to be operated. A portion of the tongue needs to be removed. There will be radiation. There will be chemotherapy." Everything he explained, and we were like, "Okay, what are you saying? You know, how is it adding up? You know, how can you say this, right? Morning only I did a 10K." So that was, you know, I was physically very fit, and I thought, okay, everything is fine. You know, suddenly what this news is coming up. So we got it proofread by another doctor and another doctor, and that is the time when it sunk in that yes, something has happened. It needs to be addressed to. And of course, during that time, for business wise, it was very difficult. Also, the schools were having difficulties.
Yes,
The business was
yes,
in a
yes.
mess. Everybody was locked inside their home. How to go to a hospital also. But I think, you know, during that time, my wife, of course, she took up everything on her head and shoulders, and the entire team was being asked to work at the school. And then she started to visit doctors, go to the hospitals, try to understand what is the case, because I left it then and there. I told my wife, "You manage it, or how you want me to get treated, which hospital you want, which doctor, you decide about it." And we broke the news into our family, and my mother was, of course, you know, she was devastated knowing all this. My brother was very, very, very sad, and there were not too many people to talk about also. Who will come in COVID time and meet
Yes,
me?
correct, correct,
The
correct.
issue is that if someone comes to meet me and I get COVID, it is even more difficult.
Yes.
So, somewhere around September 10th, we went to HCG hospital, and they said that yes, surgery needs to be done. It has to be done urgent, because this is a cancer which has spread to the limbs and nerves also.
Okay.
So it is spreading, and it has to be treated immediately. Okay, we agreed to it. We understood the process also, and because of that ulcer, close to 38% of my tongue was removed surgically, and a flap was created from here, tissues
Okay.
from here.
Yeah.
And when you look at the tongue, you see this much portion,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Tongue is like this big.
Okay.
Okay, it goes all the way inside. And when you say, okay, 40% means, you know, it's a big area, right? This is not 38%, 40% is a big area. So I was like, would I be able to talk or not? What issues will I face? You know, am I hearing it myself for the first time? So I was talking to almost all my friends, you know, this has happened. Probably I won't be able to talk. So I'm speaking to you right now. I'm going through this. And they were like, what to do? Because of COVID, they cannot come also. So tough time. Somewhere around September 12th, the surgery happened. Till September 15th, I was in ICU. And September 15th was my wife's birthday also. And then after some time, with, you know, a huge amount of flesh being over here all the way, because sticking outside, I was discharged. I came back to home after a week or so being at the hospital. And then, you know, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, multiple meetings with the doctor, they said now chemotherapy and radiation has to be started. As long as surgery was there, I was okay. I could have managed things, right? But once the chemotherapy starts, no, the life is hell completely. First chemotherapy, you will go, okay, let's see what is there. You will come outside as if you are dead. That is such an impact of chemotherapy that they try to kill all the cells in your body. And in that process, the cancer cell also gets killed. That's the whole idea of chemotherapy, of, you know, giving you a medicine which burns out each and every cell in your body, so you don't have any immunity. And during that time, if you get COVID, you're gone.
Gone. Correct.
Gone. And people are dying also, right? So the cancer ward had a condition that if any patient gets COVID over here, we are not going to treat that patient at all, because it would spread to all the other patients also. So it was that difficult, and that touch and go was there. So chemotherapy, one session, two session, totally 5, 6. I started to lose out weight. By the sixth chemotherapy, I was completely lost. That I was not able to understand basic things. Also, my mind was a noodle completely during that time. Basic understanding was also gone. Then the radiation happens. So radiation, they put a big stick into your mouth, and you have to look at a machine that keeps burning the entire area, the where the cancer bed is there. It keeps burning. So there were 30 fractions of radiation also. And once that happens, you just, you know a piece of flesh which is just walking out of the hospital, that now everything is done, I go back to my home. So that ended somewhere December 2020. And what happens is that post radiation, these side effects peak. You don't say that radiation has ended today and I'm fine, I would be okay from now on. No. If you are here, you will deteriorate further, because side effects will pick up now, and they will continue for a month or even more than that.
In terms of weight?
I tell you. So I lost any will to eat anything, and the taste buds were all dead, because since everything was burned out, the taste buds were all dead. So if you eat a chapati also, it's like
You don't
grass
get-
you are eating. What I'm not able to understand it at all. Gulping also is very very difficult. So I lost any will to eat any food, and my wife used to get me, drink this, take this juice, take that, try to eat some fruits, but nothing was working out. So I think I was somewhere around 75 kg, and I came back to around 48, 47 kgs, like that, in a span of what, 3.5, 4 months.
Oh my God.
So that was very very difficult. But I think somewhere in February 2021 or so, I started to gather back. Okay, like, I've lost my time. I started to eat some food also, uh, and then some appetite started to build up too, and I was recovering at a good pace also. So from zero, I started to reach up to a point.
Oh, go back to that week from the Teachers' Day, 5th September, to the 15th September. In this 10 days, you, first of all, you understand and digest ki I'm getting detected with a cancer. That's the one thing. Second thing, immediately you come to know that it has to be operated with urgency. Right?
Correct.
Now you have to take the decision also. Right? And at that time, you are here only, you, your wife, and your kids. Right? No one can come here from your family, from your friends. So you are the only one. You have to take the decision. You took the decision and you went for the surgery. And after that, your survival mode is start.
Correct.
Right? But for that 1 week, what was that? What is your thoughts are going on?
So that of course was a very difficult time to understand everything, and I was just trying to figure out what needs to be done, and lot of literature I tried to read. What kind of disease is it? What are the survival chances? What are the relapse chances? Will I have a good life after this or not? Then we got into touch with lot of existing cancer patients who were going through this kind of surgery, talking to them, understanding their hardships also. So I was just mostly focusing on what will happen after this.
वो थोड़ा एलिब्रेट करोगे क्या एग्जैक्टली समझ में आया उस टाइम पे क्या लग रहा था कि आफ्टर सर्जरी व्हाट विल हैपन टू यू व्हाट इज योर प्रेडिक्शन एट द टाइम
देखो उस टाइम पे तो यही लग रहा था कि वुड आई बी एबल टू कम आउट ऑफ इट और नॉट, ये भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. ठीक है. और सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम तो ये लगता है कि कैंसर कहाँ तक पहुँच गया, कि इज इट देयर इन वेरियस अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी और नॉट. तो आप कॉन्स्टेंटली यू आर अंडर सम टेस्ट और अनदर विच इज ट्राइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई कि आपका कैंसर स्प्रेड तो नहीं कर गया है. ठीक है. ये एक चीज़ वो कंटिन्यूसली टेस्ट पे टेस्ट चलते ही रहते हैं. इट कीप्स गोइंग ऑन एंड ऑन. देयर इज़ नो स्टॉपेज टू द टेस्ट, एंड देन यू टेंड टू अंडरस्टैंड what doctors are trying to say, that what would be my life afterwards. So कोई डॉक्टर बोलता है कि अगर टंग का टिप भी निकाल दिया तो आप कभी बात नहीं कर पाओगे, बिकॉज टिप इज़ द वन विच मूव्स द एंटायर टंग. तो आप कभी बात नहीं कर पाओगे. अच्छा ठीक है, टिप जाएगा कि नहीं जाएगा, वी हैव टू सी, वी हैव टू ऑब्जर्व. वंस वी आर अंडर सर्जरी, तभी हम बता पाएंगे कि आपका कितना टंग जाएगा.
अच्छा.
ठीक है. तो ये सब जो चीज़ें आ रही थी ये समझने में बहुत मुश्किल थी कि अब क्या होना है, कि वुड आई बी एबल टू टॉक फर्दर और नॉट. दैट वाज माय बिगेस्ट कंसर्न कि मैं आगे बात कर पाऊँगा कि नहीं बात कर पाऊँगा, ये बताओ मुझे. हर जगह मैं यही पूछ, बच तो मैं जाऊँगा, ठीक है, लेकिन मैं आगे बात कर पाऊँगा नहीं कर पाऊँगा, वो सबसे बड़ा कंसर्न था. ऑल्सो बट वर्स्ट केस सिनेरियो देन यस यू टेंड टू अंडरस्टैंड के व्हाट वाज.
वही फियर और फटीग होगा उस टाइम पे, राइट?
बहुत फटीग, बहुत फियर. और सब मेरे माय ब्रदर केम फ्रॉम यूएस during the COVID time, some way or another, right? And he came on the date of the surgery, and he stayed there to help me out. And I was constantly in touch with him, and he was also telling me कि मैं ऐसे एक कैंसर पेशेंट से मिला. I had a discussion with him, and he told that it's gonna be fine, don't worry, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. मैंने उसको अपनी रिपोर्ट्स दिखाई. इस तरीके से everybody was trying to give some courage.
Yes.
Though I was knowing कि I would be able to manage the surgery, I was never knowing the impact of chemotherapy. वो पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा भी वो चीज़ क्या होता है. And that is devastating. तो ये mentally बहुत fatiguing था. और पूरा फैमिली बस इसी चीज़ में लग गया कि अब ये जो डिजीज़ आया है इसको फिनिश करते हैं, rather than think ये कैसे आ गया, क्यों आ गया, what will happen to us, what will happen to our kids. नहीं, let's focus on getting rid of this one first. गया वो.
What you just mentioned ना कि सर्जरी तो मैं सर्वाइव कर ही लूँगा. That's your toughness.
हाँ.
Right. That really matters. उस टाइम पे वो mental toughness होना वो भी बहुत बड़ी बात है, I believe so. Yeah.
Surgery went for what, like 16 hours.
16 hours.
16 hours, and they were extracting something. Now we have extracted this and showing to my wife, and she was like, "Why are you showing me this part? This is tongue, this is tooth, this is part of the gum. We are extracting. It went on for 17, 16 hours like that. Of course, I was not knowing what is happening. But when I woke up, I could see that a ventilator pipe is going inside over here. And I'm not able to breathe from my nose. There is an artificial breathing which is going on. And that is such a discomfort. And you're not prepared for it also. And then I was constantly asking them, call my wife, where is she? Call my wife, where is she? But everybody's like, COVID chal raha hai bahar. How can you allow anyone inside?
Correct.
And when she is coming, she is wearing full hazmat suit and 4 mask and cover on the heads, on the eyes are visible. I'm not even able to understand, who are you?
Oh my God.
Are you a nurse? Or who are, when she said something, okay, so you have come now. Okay, fine.
Wow.
And I remember that, it was very difficult to speak. September 12th, I went into surgery. September 15th, I came back to my senses. September 15th was the day of my wife's birthday. So first thing which I said to my wife was, happy birthday. Whatever ways I could have said, I have said that.
Yes.
Otherwise, I was writing and telling them that.
Correct.
But I was, as long as the surgery was there, I was in senses. I was doing jokes. I was writing things. I was saying, what has happened to me? No, nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. I'm seeing wires and beeps all the way. And then I'm writing, you're a liar.
This is really important thing. I'm just recalling, you're right. Even me and my wife both were affected with the COVID on a very high severity. And we were the only one here. Our parents, they were actually here, but during the June time, I think first time some flights were open and all, right? For a couple of days.
Correct.
So at that time, parent traveled back to town at that time, and then we are the only two. And we were just shifted from Delhi, Gurgaon, right? So don't know many people here as well and all. There are a couple of people, but people can't travel and all. And all of a sudden, it was like full shutdown. You both are COVID infected. You are in a room. What you going to do? Right?
Correct.
You can't go outside. You can't. Even the doctor consultation was even not there, right? It was on the video call and
on the
all.
video calls and
So it was a very tough time for everyone. But I would say hats off to you for your survival, your couple of things always I remember. When you are a liar.
Yeah.
At that time,
Yeah.
with the wire and beep sound and everything, saying
You
that it will give confidence to other person as well.
you are a liar. Your pants are on fire. That is what I am writing. Like, I don't know what mode I was in,
Yeah.
but I was like, okay, fine. I cannot just keep crying or
Correct.
okay, it's done.
Yes.
Now what next? What next? I think that is one thing which has always been with me, that okay, this has happened. What next? What is there after this? Rather than cry on something which has gone wrong in your life, just see what can be done best.
But
out
you are
of it.
always like this.
Been always like this. I've never stopped myself thinking that now this episode has happened in my life. Let me just live in that trauma and don't do this, don't do that. No. Okay, what next? What is next afterwards?
That is the mental toughness. At one point of time, you can't be in the same
Same
zone.
loop.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
loop
correct.
cannot be there.
Okay, so Anuj, now moving to next.
Hmm.
We reached to 2021.
Yep.
Okay, nearly 21 or 2 around time. Then you said in February time you started gaining your food test buds and your weight and your regular habits, foods and everything, right? And by the time even things were also settled down, right? After phase 2 things were a little lighter side or something, right?
Correct.
So at that time, what was your first thing you have observed that I have been passed through my cancer, right? Now, what is something that I want to change for myself?
I would wanted to get back to my life. That was very, very important. That whatever the kind of life I was having earlier, pre-cancer, I was proud of it. I was
Yes.
doing good. I was doing this Olympic triathlon in February 2020. DIT I did, and just a month before that, also in GKVK, there was a 50-kilometer ultra marathon race also.
Wow.
So that
In
also.
2019.
Yeah, I think somewhere before February 2020, somewhere I think December 2019, I guess, it was a 50-kilometer ultra run which I did also. And I was
50 kilometer. Wow.
I was very happy, content. And suddenly this thing came up which took away a year, no problem. I would want to get back to it now. So after a couple of months itself, I told my wife that I would want to get back to my usual self since I've been through all this. And she was like, what are you saying? How can you get back to your usual self? First, get back to something, right? And the advices are coming like, okay, you can start doing gardening now.
Okay. Start with the gardening. That's a
You
good thing.
should
Yeah.
read books, you should do walks. I was like, do yoga. Okay, sounds good, but no, I have different plans. So after a couple of months, I think somewhere in June, July, I met my somewhere after this surgery and chemotherapy and radiations, I met my swimming coach,
Okay.
Sucheta ma'am, and she had seen me pre-cancer. I was good enough, and she was sitting in one cafe, and I went past her. She did not look at me at all. And then I went past back again. And then I said, Sujata, it is me. And she was like, what have you become?
Okay.
My face is distorted,
Ah.
right? And I've become so thin, barely recognizable. The smallest of pants are only fitting into me. And I'm telling her that, ma'am, can you take me back to coaching?
Okay. Yeah, that's
She said, okay, Anuj, first of all, please add some kgs to your body.
okay.
Then come to me, take some time, and then we will start. This is not the time to do any kind of swimming. What do you think?
So now you have only option of gardening.
I had the option of eating.
Okay.
So I ate with vengeance.
Okay.
Every day I was eating something non-vegetarian food, high protein,
Okay.
or loads of rice. I did a loading, and then I gained some weight, gained some energy. And the first thing which I did started was swimming only.
Okay.
Did a bit of running also. And after that, I think 2022 somewhere in the end, I went for this Desaru, Malaysia. I did a half Iron over there. I was very happy, very very happy.
But you did one DIT also, right?
DIT I did pre-cancer. That was an Olympic.
Olympic one.
Ah.
And let me tell you, I was also part of DIT.
Really?
I did a half Ironman with them.
Really?
Yes.
Arey wah, arey wah. I
And
was
for those who don't know about the
half
triathlon,
marathon.
Chiro one, no? Chiro did.
Chiro did, yes.
Yeah.
So in one of the half marathon of DIT, I was the first runner-up also.
Marathon or
DIT.
triathlon, no?
Triathlon.
Okay.
I was the first runner-up also.
Wow,
in one of-
congratulations.
Not many people were there.
Yeah,
in that.
around 300 somewhere was the count.
Not many. But
Yeah.
the people who were doing for half marathon, they were not many. But yes, that was the DIT I was doing. Then I did multiple races. So Desaru happened, and immediately after 2 months, I did Goa also. Goa Ironman
Yes.
also I did that. 6.5 hours I finished a half marathon. I was
Wow.
very very happy with that. And then I started
22, right?
22 I guess, yes. And then this lot many marathons I started to participate in. Swimathons I have done 5k, 4k, 6k swimathons. I kept on doing one after another, no stopping, no falling back to illness, nothing. Visits are happening to the doctor, but I'm going for my events, whatever happens. And then in 2023 I registered for the Barcelona full iron also. I was peak confidence.
Okay.
Then I booked it and I said, okay, I will work towards it. And it happened also. That is the thing.
In 23, right?
2020?
Yes, yeah. This is the
Yeah.
20. This is the first one, is it?
This is the first one. Yeah, it finished.
And in September, you see.
This happens in December.
December,
This is
okay.
in Barcelona. That place,
Okay.
Spain.
Okay. So,
Mm.
but so Anuj, so basically mid 22 to 23 end, you were just did 150k, one DIT, and then from mid 22 you started picking up
Picking up
multiple
Desaru.
marathons, swimathons, triathlon,
Yeah.
and you reached till a full triathlon.
Ah.
But I want to take a pause here just to know the people what is a triathlon. Because it's not easily possible. So just one quick on that. Half Ironman is a triathlon distance where you have to swim for 1.9 kilometer and then followed by 90 kilometer of cycling, followed by 21 kilometer of a half marathon running. Okay. Now, when Anuj is saying about the full Ironman triathlon in a Barcelona, December 23, it is having the distance of 3.98 kilometer of swimming,
Yeah.
followed by 180 kilometer of cycling, and followed by full marathon, which is a 42 kilometer of running
Yes.
that you did.
So once I was fine, I did 2 half Ironman
Huh.
and 1 full Ironman
Two
by
half is
2023.
Goa and which one other one?
DIT.
DIT.
Sorry, Desaru.
Listen, okay. Okay. And then the Barcelona one.
Then the Barcelona.
Wow.
It kept on happening. I was in good confidence, good spirits were there, and I had very good people to go with in Barcelona also. And I enjoyed the company, enjoyed the place, and I just thought, okay, let me do it. And I did that
And this
also.
triathlon boost your confidence as well, right?
Crazy. It does. It makes us humble also at the same time.
Yes.
Of course, you don't get boosted with huge confidence, because it levels you up also, that you have achieved something which not many people are doing it. Very, very few number of people are doing it. So that makes me a humble person, that I always feel that if I have done it, everybody else can do it. Right? So let me think something about that.
So for me, with the weight in 2020, I'm having overweight, not a obese kind of thing. At that time, I'm the only one in the complete race who's doing this triathlon. Okay, otherwise all the other people you can see they are lean, fit people, right? So around in a first DIT half Ironman distance, 250 or 300 people are there, right? Everyone is focused. And then we started the swimming, right? I feel good about it. So I did my first swimming, right? And then we went to the cycling. Cycling also good, 3 hour, 15 minutes around, right? Then running. I have seen that people were looking me. यार ये भी triathlon कर रहा है. So वो मैंने अपना mind बना लिया. If I can do, anyone can do.
What I think, you are also a triathlete, right?
Yes.
And you also have a name in Limca Book of
India
Records.
Book, yes,
also,
yeah.
right? So, you know the effort, right? And
Yes.
it is somehow the Ironman and these endurance event, they are not that only fit people can do. It's not like that, right? It is the people who are fit from their mind, right?
Yes.
If the mindset is there that yes, I can endure this much of pain, I can understand these distances, I can push myself for so many hours, then these are the people who can do the Ironman. If somebody is tremendously fit, lean, six-pack ab or whatever is
It
there,
will not work out. Yes.
it won't work out at all. It starts from the mind only. And look at the difficulties of a full Ironman. You will do a 3.8 kilometer swim, perhaps you will take 80 minutes, 90 minutes, or whatever
Correct.
time depending on your pace. And then you will do a 180 kilometer cycle, which will take around 7 hours, 6.5 hours, like that. So after 8 hours of rigorous activity, you have been asked to run 42 kilometers.
Oh my God.
Do you think any person will have energy to do that?
Mm.
Very rare. You have to do it from your
Mind.
mind only, right? So it does not matter that what weight are you on, honestly, right? You are very fit, right? But it completely depends the kind of mindset you are having. And then you've displayed that also when you did this Chennai 5150, and
Yes.
you ensured that physical is not a barrier.
Yes.
Physical is not a barrier, right? It is a message to everyone.
Correct.
Because what happens is that someone we keep on thinking that first I will reduce 10 kgs, then I will do this activity. That is the biggest
Yes.
bottleneck
Correct.
in
You're
every-
right. You're right.
That 10 kg reduction never happens.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
And that activity which you have planned to do will never happen. First you do that activity, whatever you have planned to do.
But Anuj, there is a one thing. I have seen so many people look at me with a surprising or question mark, how and why. And my answer with the same eye only. I will not speak anything.
Yeah.
People look with a big question mark. Na? I run in front of them faster. I bike faster.
Correct.
Because I know the question is very simple on the face. How the big guy is running or cycle, right? It's fine. I know I'm a big, but still I'm doing.
I feel sometimes we see the way we think in other people's eyes, right? If you think that if I think that he is questioning my abilities, then every person I will see, I will find that look that he is questioning me.
Yep.
She is understanding how and why I am doing, right? But believe me, anyone who's doing Ironman has that Ironman mindset will never question you on anything.
Exactly.
They will cheer.
Yes,
I
yes.
saw you almost 3-4 times passing. Every time I said, "Come on,
Yes,
Sam,
yes.
let's do it, let's do it." That is,
Especially the last one.
and tapped at your back. Come, someone,
Yes, correct,
we will do it,
correct,
right? So everybody is like so charged up.
Yes.
They are top of their emotions.
Correct.
Looking at someone with disrespecting eyes or humiliating eyes, I don't think so.
Never, yes, correct.
We tend to see ourselves from there. We tend to understand
Exactly.
that
Yes.
maybe they are
yes.
thinking so. But people with Ironman mindset, they are different people out of the league completely.
Because once the race is started, after that you will be in some different zone altogether.
Yeah.
Right. You will be not the same thing, same pre-race or something. Because after that you are in so much pain.
Yes.
Right. But
Yes.
still you have the emotion, you have the excitement to do. You want to test your ability, endurance, fitness, and all. Right. At the same time, believe me, you will just focus on doing. हमारा बात हो रहा था राइट साइकिल में सिर्फ वो आगे के 5 मीटर ही दिखते हैं 10 मीटर दिख रहे दैट्स इट
That's it.
उसके बियॉन्ड कुछ नहीं है राइट और रनिंग इज समथिंग दैट if someone is passing you will chit chat or enjoy or encourage each and everyone right this is what we do right at that time जिसको जो सोचना है कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता
कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. See, everybody is a champion who is coming down to
Yep,
the Ironman. Everybody has believed in themselves that they can do it. That is why they are there. Completing an Ironman is not a small task to be done. It's a big achievement, and you have done it right.
yes even one more good thing what you mentioned वरना यहाँ से वो करना होता है so I remember my DIT experience so I did my swim and cycle and then running is started I had to run for 21 kilometer and at the 3rd kilometer my leg was mended वो पूरा गंदा एकदम मोच आ गया पूरा and swelling was there and after that imagine I was not able to walk even I put some Volini and all right
Sprays.
right वो सब कर लिया बोला हो जाएगा थोड़ी देर में. आई वॉक फॉर 5 steps 10 step 10 मीटर 15 मीटर चलता गया. एक टाइम आया, देन आई रियलाइज अब मेरे से वॉक नहीं होने वाला है. आफ्टरवर्ड्स इफ समथिंग विल वर्क आउट इज द माइंड.
Correct.
Right? So similarly, in your all Ironman, what is the toughest thing you ever faced?
See, in any Ironman you do, right? The toughest thing is not the event. The toughest thing is the practice.
Yes.
We always tend to underestimate that thing. On that day I will do it. Baba, if you have not done the practice, you will not do anything, right?
That's true.
Any Ironman event, if you say that what phase is the most difficult for me to do is the swimming. The moment my legs are out of the floor, there is a small amount of panic which is always there
Yes.
with me, and I would hold myself for 30-40 seconds, take deep breaths, and now I understand that after 1 hour only or 70-75 minutes only I would be able to
come
get
back
the
to the
floor,
land. Yes,
right?
yes.
So that thought to overcome that is very difficult for me, and I think it's difficult for everybody else
yes,
also.
Yes. We see Chennai.
Chennai was crazy.
It was super crazy, actually.
So crazy. And but I feel that the most difficult aspect of an Ironman is the training aspect.
Yes.
You have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, go for practice alone.
Correct,
you play badminton, there are 4 people, and then there are another 4 people waiting for you. You do cycling, you have a group also, but practice is mostly alone.
Especially before the full one,
Yeah.
you really have to go for 5 hour, 4 hour long cycling and all, right?
Correct.
You have to start in early morning, because if you will not start early morning, you'll end up with a lot of traffic and all. You'll not able to train yourself, right?
Correct.
So it is a challenge.
See, people usually prepare mostly for a half iron, right? People who are preparing for a full iron are very less, right? When you go for practice, you have to do 150 kilometer cycling, 160 kilometer cycling plus 5 kilometer run or 10 kilometer run. You don't tend to find the company.
Yes.
That is the biggest problem. But that's okay. You still do it. That is why keeping your head still while you are practicing for an Ironman, that is the most difficult phase which I consider for a preparation of an Ironman.
Okay. And after till for many of the people, I want to say, यहाँ पे जर्नी खत्म नहीं होती है. You did English channel as well, right?
I did.
वो मोटिवेशन कहाँ से आया? Why you want to do English channel? How exactly it started?
औकात से बाहर कर दिया.
Brief about the English channel, please, to everyone.
So we were doing swimming with Suchita ma'am and Barman sir, and we were constantly part of their batch, and there we met a couple of like-minded people, Vrishali and Danish. They have a channel, Our Life in Miles, at the YouTube, right?
Yep,
so
yep.
very famous people.
Yep.
So we were swimming together with each other, and then Rohan was also there, one of the fellow swimmer. And then I think Suchita, our coach, she dropped the idea of, she was talking about English channel, and so I said, okay, what is it, right? Let us think, we can do it or not. Of course, he was swimming in the sea at times for the events. We were understanding that yes, we can understand the swimming in the sea. So let's try to understand the English channel also. So coincidentally, when you go for an English channel, is somewhere in August 22, I have completed English channel. Yes. So when you go for an English channel, you have to do a qualification also.
Yes, correct.
So for that we went to Spain,
Okay.
Menorca, and you have to prepare yourself in cold waters. So water temperature of 13 degree, 14 degrees, like that, it has to be there. And you have to swim in the sea for 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Sometimes they will say swim for 2 hours. Or, you have swam for 2 hours, wait for half an hour, again swim for 1 hour. Like that, 1 week will go where you have to do the entire practice in cold waters. And you can just wear the swimwear. That's it. You cannot wear a wetsuit or anything like that.
Even we can't wear the wetsuit.
No, wetsuit is not allowed at all. You have to understand that the chill is there, and it was bone chilling chill, right? I don't want to recall that at this point of time. But then we completed our certifications from this Menorca camp successfully. We all did. and we did not fail, and we all completed our certification. Then we applied for the English channel also, and then we went for it. And in Dover, we stayed for like 15 days or so, and then we understood that this is the place we have to swim. We did many small practice sessions, and then on the D-Day, the swim starts, right? So when the swim starts, Savan, it starts at night 2 o'clock.
My God.
Night 2 o'clock, you are in the sea, you are not able to see your hands properly, and then you
Yeah.
have to, they say that, okay, there is the shore,
Huh.
right? We will take you on a small boat to the shore. So our team captain Vishali went in that boat to the shore, and then they will show one light.
Okay.
You have to follow that light. So she is following that light from the shore, because the boat cannot go all the way to the shore. There's a small jetty which two people can go, and you will go in that, and then they will keep moving. They will show a light, because there is no other light. There are no buoys to see. It's night 2 o'clock. You cannot sight anything in the sea. So she's swimming towards the light, and then finally they reach towards the boat. And that is the point the journey would start. Pitch dark. Only the light of that boat you can see. It's
Okay.
pitch dark. You just have to keep following it, right? Swim, keep following it. Then 1 hour, Vishali finished out her swimming part. Next was me to jump in. Again, maybe around 3:15, 3:20, like that in the morning. Pitch dark again. Very cold. I jumped inside the sea, and the first thing which came to my mind was, why are you doing this? क्यों कर रहा है ये सब, ठीक है? But when you do relay swims, the pressure is on you of the rest of the team also.
Yes.
If you fail, then they also fail. So I started, okay, and they started to swim, and I think I did around 2.5, 3 kilometers of swim, and then little bit of sunlight started to happen. Then Danish went inside, then he completed his part. Rohan went inside, he completed his part. Then again Vishali is in, then I am there. So this way we did, me and Vishali did for 5 times,
Okay.
and the rest of the team did for 4 times.
Okay.
By the 17th hour, we were touching the French
Wow.
coast, right?
Wow.
I
That's
tell
a
you
great
one
thing.
very amazing thing which happened was that at the 13th hour, we were able to see the French shores, right?
Okay.
With that clarity that we can see a house, we can see a car moving, we can see
But
that
still,
there
journey
is
is long.
there are people, we can see, but we are not able to reach to the shore at all, because the current has become so strong that we are, instead of going like this, we are going like this. So that zone is called a washing machine zone. You keep drifting like this all the time. From 13 hour to 17 hour, we were in that zone only for 4 hours. Cannot do anything. And after some time, the wind stopped, and we were under the shade of a mountain. And suddenly, we started to swim in the front. Within 20 minutes, the swim was done. 13 hour, we were almost at the same point. 17th hour also, we are at the same point. But the moment the wind stopped, 20 minutes, we are able to reach to the French shores. It is that difficult. You cannot
In
predict.
17 hours, how many kilometers you did?
See, English Channel is primarily point A to point B, Dover to any point in France
Yeah.
is 33 kilometers, point A and point B. But whenever you look out for a charting of a swim at English Channel, it is not straight. You cannot just go straight and cut the waves, right? You have to go like this in a S shape, and you have to basically cut the waves all the way. You cannot cut them head on, but you can pass through them. So it invariably becomes 58 kilometers, 60 kilometers. Per swimmer, you get 14 kilometers, 15 kilometers of swim. But we did in 17
That's
hours,
commendable,
and
yes.
we were, I think, 16th or 15th ever Indian team to
Wow.
do it in a relay mode. But it is catching up big time right now.
Correct.
There are
Yes, many people.
Many people, many Indians. Something is there in Indians, right? We never give up on anything. If English Channel is not made for an Indian will go and do it.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
One fine time show that in Dover there will be an Indian restaurant.
Time will come soon.
So that experience was so good, and everyone in Dover, Savan are aspiring to do an English channel, right? So you meet anyone, the group is already there. They're talking about their experiences. No, you do like swimming like this. You should attempt like this. Take this with you. It will take care of the fatigue which you get or the nausea which you get. So there are advices all over the place at Dover. Awesome experience. Awesome experience
Wow.
it was. Awesome expensive also.
It is expensive. We can't even talk about
We
it.
cannot talk about it also.
But it is an expensive thing, yeah. But once in a life experience kind of thing.
I would really want to do it once again in
Oh.
a relay mode of maybe 3 people. I would want to do that at some point of time. India to Sri Lanka is one swim which is there in my mind. I would want to do it.
Sri Lanka.
India to Sri Lanka. This is
Okay.
called Park Strait
Okay.
swim. It is, and it's right there on my mind that I have to do it in a relay mode for sure. It's warm sea, comfortable sea,
Yes.
Indian territory, so there are no issues as such. Maybe, not in this year, maybe in the coming year, I would
Yes.
definitely want to.
And
attempt it.
you will not influence me on that.
No,
No, but it would be good to have always, yes.
no,
Will do,
you
yeah.
come by in a relay mode. It's so much fun.
Yes.
Also, it's a big challenge, but it is fun. Also,
Mm.
the team pushes you.
Correct. It
To
is a
do it.
team effort, yes.
It's a team
Correct,
effort.
correct.
See, when you do a swimming ride, you would have noticed someone is that you don't hear people cheering for you. When you do cycling, there are people who can
Yes,
cheer
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
When you are doing running, the entire city is cheering for you in Ironman events.
But in swimming, no one is there.
No one is there, right? So you just have to motivate
Yourself.
and people do crazy things, right? I asked Rohan, what do you do when you are in swimming for that 1 hour of relay? He is saying that I think about some calculations of mathematics,
Okay.
and that is his method of
Correct.
passing that time.
Yes.
And he's also attempting a solo very soon. Vrishali and Danish, they are crazy swimmers, the core swimmers. They know how
Okay.
to manage their mind for 1 hour. I used to think about work. And I used to also think about what after this. That is one thing which always motivates me, that after this, what event I would go for. Our plans are I would want to challenge a little more, and this year, August, I have full Ironman. Figure out at this point of time that the full Iron is on Saturday, and if I can do a half Iron on Sunday, the very next day. This Ironman event which I went in Italy. So there were 2 guys who were actually doing this. Back to back. They did Ironman full on Saturday, and next day they were doing a half. And that gave me an idea that yes, it can be done. So I'm considering that. Let me see how my practice goes. And after this Ironman talent, I would definitely go for a India to Sri Lanka this relay swim also. Apart from that, next year I would be going in for Copenhagen.
Yes,
It's
full
not
one.
open so far. Copenhagen, and near to it, I am not sure about. I've forgotten the name right now. There's one more place which has another Ironman after a week itself.
Wow.
So that is what my plan for sure, which I will do. That 1 week I will do Copenhagen, and next week nearby I will do one more Ironman full. Within a week's time, 2 Ironman is what my plan is.
Wow.
Let me see how it happens. So basically, I'm just challenging.
Yes, this is the real challenging. This is the, I would say, the life should be like this. Right?
Correct. ये
Keep
तो हो गया.
challenging, yeah.
अब next क्या है?
Next क्या है, right? Wow.
यही करना है. Next क्या? हो सकता है ये भी अगर कर लिया
तो और क्या?
तो और क्या है?
I'm having an idea. You can go for Epic 5.
Maybe
5 days full Ironman.
5 days full. See, I think those guys would be able to finish out an Ironman, say 11 hours and 12 hours, and they can take some
Yes,
rest
and,
also.
yeah.
For us, I take 13 and a half, 14 hours, 14 and a half hours like that. And after that, yes, it is time to recover for sure.
Correct.
So I'm assuming that I would be able to do a half Iron the very next day, and I have to prepare myself here to do it.
But Anuj, the way you mentioned na, कि for this Barcelona, you just thought कि no, अब मैं full भी कर लूँगा. Let me just do a training in focus. The same way you are thinking now also. कि I know it's a back-to-back 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, full and half Ironman triathlon, but you will do.
But that's what I'm
And
thinking.
yes.
I would be if I have booked for it, I will work towards it
Yes.
also. That if I'm mentally there, physically I will bring myself there for sure.
Is it something that, taking a step only is the key thing?
Correct. Many of us are just afraid of taking a step, right? And we consider ourselves as good as we can achieve, and that is a very big mindset problem.
Yeah.
If you are not able to achieve something, that doesn't mean that you are a bad person,
Correct.
right? If you are not able to, you did attempt something, you were not able to do it, it's okay, it's fine. That doesn't makes you less qualified,
correct,
right? You're
correct,
the
correct,
same
correct.
person. But the thing is that we tend to associate ourselves with our achievements. If I did not got any promotion, I'm no good, right? If I'm not getting into
Everyone has a
IT,
different abilities, yeah, correct.
different ability. But I think this mindset would come after certain age, right? As you can also see, Savan, the endurance athletes are mostly in their 38, 40,
30 plus,
42,
correct.
like that. The biggest chunk of people who participate in Ironman are 40 above people.
Yes.
40 to 45 category is the most
loaded
loaded
category.
category. Why is it so? Because this endurance mindset comes pretty late in
Yes,
their
correct.
age.
Yeah, correct.
At 40, you reach and you think that, okay, whatever I have done is what I can do.
Yes, correct. Now this is something I
Now,
want to
now let me target on something. So endurance mindset, that settling in the age, that patience comes pretty late in the age on.
Yes,
Not
I agree.
initially.
Now, Anuj, one quick rapid fire, okay?
Rapid fire also.
Yes, rapid fire, okay? Just couple of questions for you,
Okay.
okay? One favorite book.
My favorite, many books, yeah. Deep work I was reading now, and this You Are the Mountain. Mostly self-help.
Yes.
Self-help books.
Okay. Chai, coffee.
Coffee.
Bangalore mein rahenge, coffee.
Filter coffee anytime.
Okay. One advice if you want to give to 20-year-old guy in terms of fitness, in terms of your business entrepreneur journey.
See, in terms of fitness, yes, for a 20-year-old, these days, I think all the youngsters is very, very important also that we are delaying our fit years, right? And we do not do any workouts when you are 15, 16 or 20 years of age. That impacts you when you are 30, 35 a lot.
Yes.
If you are fit, you're doing some activity when you are 18 or 20, then you would be having much different life when you are at
35.
40s,
Yeah,
right?
40s. Yes.
So to young people of 20 years of age, pick up a sport.
Yep.
Anything. Don't pick chess.
Some physical activity.
Pick a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And what about if someone is just building something their own in terms of business or?
start at the grassroots level. Do not compare yourself with others, because every business is different. There would be so many companies who are just selling toothpaste, similar companies, but every company is having business, right? They are good in the market. You can also do the same thing what other people are doing, but do not compare yourself with that person. Start your journey on your own from the grassroots level without your hands getting dirty in the field. You really cannot learn. And I think that's something, people who are picking up business from their above generation,
Yep.
the second generation, third generation which comes into the business, is very, very important. That you have to start at the grassroots level, perhaps go out, do a job for 3-4 years.
Then you understand the ground reality and yeah.
Then you start your entrepreneur journey, and not all business are startup business. Not all
true,
business
yeah.
are tech business.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
If you are not having a startup, or if you are not having a business in tech industry, that's not it. There are so many things to be done apart from that. Tech industry, startups, they would be, they sound so good, right? But believe me, Savan, the business which are in the most difficult, or I would say, in the manufacturing, tire manufacturing, right?
Yeah.
The most, what I would say is that non-glamorous business are the ones which are really successful.
Yes. I have seen a lot of businesses just making a tissue paper or matchstick, some basic liquids for the floor cleaning and all. They are making crores.
See, nobody at this point of time would say that I would launch a business of making phenyls.
Correct. It is not glamorous.
Not
That's
glamorous.
why.
People say, I would open up a eatery. I would
Yes.
open up a bakery. Right? People don't know what kind of challenges are there.
Correct.
Don't go by the glamour of the business.
Mm.
Go by the utility of the business. Very, very important.
Important thing, yes, correct. With that, thank you so much, Anuj. Thank you so much. It was really, really great conversation with you. To me personally, it was, really impactful. I have learned a lot from you, your journey. I have seen your complete, and honestly, after this conversation, I feel that I have seen a complete journey of you. I was keep on visualizing whatever you were saying me. I have seen your scale up thing, right? What is the first thing, first center? What it takes to start the first center, right? What is that mindset? How you start? How you scale up? How you take care of your franchisee owners? That is a very key thing. How you always build the trust with the parents. How you keep on answering them. You're putting your phone number is very, very important. Then when things were super high, sudden dip, how you survive with your cancer, how you, after surviving, what is your mindset now? That is something next level. It is not everyone can do. But one thing very rightly you mentioned is everything is here.
Everything is here,
Right?
mindset.
So learning about mental toughness, your endurance journey, your the way you take the decision, right? So everything is super inspirational for me. Lot of lesson learned, and I hope you also enjoyed.
Of
so
course,
thank
of
you
course,
so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Sawan.
sorry.
Thank you for having me over here.
Yeah.
It was, and for me also to recall whatever questions you have asked, right? That reflects so much
Your journey as well.
on me. It's a kind of retrospection
Correct.
for me also. Yes, everybody has share of their tough times, right? And how do you overcome that? That is very, very important. Thanks for reminding me all the hardships I have been through. All the best to you also, Savan.
Thank you so much.
You do great things. Finish out your half iron and then a full iron. Do it as soon as possible. You book a place, I'll come with you.
Absolutely.
We'll do it together.
Then we'll do Sri Lanka.
Definitely Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.